Are distractions slowly eroding your business? I know that when I'm distracted, I am not operating at my best. So, in this episode, we're going to tackle it head on. Stay tuned. Welcome to Life Coaching for Dance Studio Owners. Each week, we talk money, mindset, and self care to help you live a more peaceful life and lead a more profitable business. Let's get started. All right, so I really wanted to do this episode on distractions because I found myself in a place of feeling so distracted, so off focus that I was just doing all kinds of things mentally, but getting absolutely nowhere. And so I thought, you know what? Let me share this with you. Maybe this will help somebody else out there struggling to get it done. I know in today's climate, we've got so many things going on from cold and flu season, working with kids and all the activities and events in school. We had the recent election and the inauguration in the United States. We had so many different things that are pulling our attention away from our business and what our actual goals are. And I think it's important that we take the time on a regular basis as business owners to address basically the distraction that is hurting our business. It's like harmful. And you know, so many times people say things like, oh, well, just stop the notifications on your phone, turn those off, or take a break from social media. But I find that that's really like easy to say, but hard to do, right? Like so many of us, we stay in touch. We genuinely stay in touch with either our business besties, family, friends through like Facebook or Instagram. That's where we're staying in touch and, hearing from other people that we know and love. Um, I know that turning off your notifications sounds like a great idea, and I often hear that from people. And then on the flip side, there's people who are not only running a business, but they're raising a family. And so their concern is if I turn off notifications, how will I hear when the school calls and I need to come pick up my kid because they're throwing up or something? And there's so many ways in and around managing distractions, but what I first want to do is kind of talk about like why distractions left unchecked can destroy your business. So I'll give you an example, right? One of the things that I think is actually harder for me than social media or notifications is being stuck in that mode of creating. I did an episode last year about making versus taking. And if you're in the mode of constantly creating things, that it's easy to get caught up in innovating and creating, and you never actually get any work done. Um, and so for me, that could be working on my website, doing designs in Canva. And so I'm working on my business, right? I'm not quote unquote wasting time playing video games or on social media and doom scrolling. That's not what is happening to a lot of us. It's that we're working on business things that are not actually aligned with our goals. And when that happens, that might look like signing up for every webinar. Signing up for every webinar, whether you need it or not, or, you know, pursuing some new things that are loosely tied to what you're doing in your business, or creating things that are not the programs and offers that you said you're doing in your business. You're just creating extra random things. And so some people, they might do this in their studio where like they offer dance classes, but then out of the blue, for no particular reason, they're like, we're going to offer like Frozen or Moana parties. And they're kind of put together, but like that's not actually what's paying your bills. That's not what's covering payroll. It's just extra things. And in some cases, it's a distraction from focusing on what needs to get done, which oftentimes is getting better at sales, getting better at marketing, getting better at retention. That is a better use of your time in those cases. So, Another way that we get distracted is through multitasking. We think that we are so good at it, right? Like, I can listen in on the webinar, but have my camera off, receive my groceries while I'm working on my recital pamphlet or something. Or, like I'm doing multiple things at once. I'm rhinestoning while I'm doing this and that. And our thought that we're superwoman or superman, that we can multitask, is kind of laughable, because research has proven time and time again that we're not good at multitasking. Like, nobody is. No human is good at multitasking, yet we continue to think that that's what we can do and do it well. And also, it's about unnecessary meetings. Are there times when you're meeting with your staff over something that could have been handled in an email? You're spending time going over things that you don't need to be doing. I remember one time I told my director of operations, like, okay, we're going to do this thing. And you know what? You're going to go ahead and lead that meeting. And she was kind of surprised, like, why me? And I said, more likely, like, the question is, why me? Why is the business owner running this dang meeting when I've already conveyed my thoughts to my leadership team to get those points across, right? So I think it's important to minimize these distractions. And really, it's anything that is causing you to get off track, off focus. And so that also includes when we have self doubt and overthinking. How many times have you had a goal in mind of something you want to accomplish, take care of during the day, but you completely get off track because you're thinking no one's going to want to buy this? You hesitate to send the email because you're doubting how people are going to react to it. You're avoiding putting together the schedule because somebody will be upset, and you're doubting yourself, or overthinking, over analyzing these things. And that too is a distraction. And so, what is the cost of these distractions, right? Um, it can delay you in your goal achievement. You're not getting to that thing as quickly as you could have had you suppressed some of those distractions, avoided those distractions. And for me, the one that's the most annoying is the wasted time and resources, right? If we go back to that example of like running the Frozen or Moana party, you're putting in extra time and effort to buy supplies, to run the program, to hire the staff, to pay for it, to clean up after it. And how much are you profiting? Not revenue again, not revenue. How much are you profiting from that thing that's bringing in $500 to your studio? Are you bringing in maybe $90 profit? Is that really worth that much effort? Like, really think about what it is you're doing. If your primary thing is to sell dance classes and to get students in the door and try a class or sign up, when you put effort into something else, you're taking time from that, slowing down the progress. How many times is it that we're spinning in this river of misery? That's what they call it in the life coach school. They call it the river of misery, right? You're in this river of misery and you feel bad about yourself, and you feel bad that no one's going to like this and no one's going to pay for this, or an idea you thought was going to be great and nobody wants to come to. They don't want to go to your ice cream social at your studio, right? You get into that, and then you realize, like, man, I should have been working on my marketing. When I was in a rut recently, I kind of just wasn't working on the studio for a while, and I was looking like, what is going on? When I kind of got out of my funk, I looked at my Google ads and I was like, these stink. Like, we're not getting results like we used to. And I invested maybe an hour of time, like looking at some updated resources from Google, and improved my Google AdWords account. And for me, I was able to turn that around, fix my optimization score from like a 60% to 100%, and get my impressions up into the thousands, and getting clicks and people setting up trial classes in the studio again. And so when you do things like that, it makes a huge, huge difference in the outcome and the results that you are seeking for your business. So, wasted time and resources is a big one. And now the third piece for the cost of distractions is distractions can increase your stress and burnout. Most of the time we think, well, it's just a small distraction. Like, I kind of like watching these little videos of cats online, or, you know, catching up with friends on Facebook. And then next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. Your stress and burnout can come from distraction, whether it's because you're emotionally done, you're just like, can't take it anymore with the load of things that you're looking at, thinking about, worried about. You might be burned out because you feel like you don't have enough time in the day. But when you audit your time, you realize that you haven't been spending time working on the very thing that you want to get done. And it really derails your progress. So, what can we do about it, right? First of all, we have to identify what are your biggest distractions. I mentioned some of those, but ask yourself, what consistently pulls away my attention from my priorities? What is it that's doing that, right? Once you identify that, think of ways to minimize your distractions. Getting rid of distractions completely, I think, is impossible, but you can minimize, and there's some steps you can do, right? Set a clear goal. For me, I said, you know what? I'm going to put all my social media apps. I get 15 minutes a day on my iPhone. And that sounded really drastic at the time because I was averaging like 2 hours a day. And I have to tell you, I don't miss it. Like, when I started this off with the 15 minutes a day, and now that's across all apps. Like, if I do 15 minutes on Instagram, that also means that Facebook and TikTok, like, I don't get 15 additional minutes per app. When I first started it, I would be like, okay, like, it's the new day. Let me go check and see. And there's like nothing that I want to see. It's like notifications from business pages or so and so's birthday. But that was it. Any news, like world news, I can get that through Google or wherever else. I don't need these apps, social media, to give me my news. So set your clear goal. Like, what is it that you're going to do to help you focus? For me, it was that limiting thing. I also decided that every day I'm going to do my handwritten on pencil and paper, my plan for the day, what I would like to accomplish, and I'm going to write it out. Because when I have days that I do not write it out, it's a hot mess, y'all. Let me tell you. I'll drink coffee cup after coffee cup. I start watching Discovery Plus, and next thing you know, I'm like, crap, it's 2 p.m. And I've wasted so much time. So I've got that 15-minute rule. And then I also have this rule for myself that I'm going to spend time writing things out. And then the third thing for my goal to keep myself focused is that I'm going to spend time in prayer and meditation at least once a day. That could be 10 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, but I'm going to spend time in prayer and meditation to calm myself. If you are a high achieving entrepreneur like myself, you find yourself doing a lot of stuff, you get excited, you are a visionary doing all the things, and you're not tired from it. We high achievers need time to slow the heck down. So for me, taking time to meditate or pray has been a way for me to just slow things down and get reset. And it has been very helpful for me. The next thing that you want to do is block out time. You want not just time that you're working, but also time to just veg out and, watch TV or, go out to lunch with your friends, whatever it is. Maybe you want to paint your nails, who knows? Do something where you block your time and you have focused work periods without interruptions, and then you'll have your other time for your family, friends, and so on. I mentioned this with my example with social media, but if you have a common trigger, find a way to get it distraction free. So in addition to limiting social media, I gave up my Apple Watch. I was an early adopter with Apple Watches. Like, I had a very early on Apple Watch, and I've had several of them. Um, I've probably been through 4 Apple Watches, and some of it was because they broke or I broke them, whatever, or some of them whatever issues, but I gave up my Apple Watch because I was getting not only notifications, but way too much real-time information that was pulling my attention in an opposite direction from where I was trying to go. When I stopped with the Apple Watch, yeah, I stopped getting the little fitness reminders or, my friend completed a workout. I also stopped getting calendar reminders and all my phone calls. Like, why did I think it was cool to have my phone calls? Like, I'm getting a phone call and it's on my watch and I'm in the bathroom or I'm at the gym. Like, I don't need that. And so for me, I gave up my Apple Watch. It's been about 4 months and I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all, and I don't know if I'm going to go back. Maybe, possibly, I would get a Fitbit or something just for, like, sleep monitoring and fitness, but I just don't really think I need that level of information on my wrist. Um, and then when you look at things that are distracting, you also wanna see if there's things that are tasks that you're doing not because you have to, just because you've taken them on. Um, how can you delegate those? I recently did this with one of my directors at the studio, and she was like, "I'm taking care of these these last minute requests from the student volunteers who help out in class." And she was like handling like who needs a sub. And I said, "Okay, you're a director. You know what I pay you. Is that really director level work that you're doing? Pass it down, delegate it to the manager that you supervise to free up your time and your mind and your energy and stress, right? So think of things. What are you doing that are not CEO, director, owner level and delegate them? So I think that when you start to apply things like this that work in your life, you will get to a place of greater peace, which is really, really helpful. Um, and when you do this, you want to make sure you're doing regular self check ins. Like, look honestly at how you spend your time. What's in your calendar can kind of indicate what is a priority and important to you. If you are working with an accountability partner or a coach, share your goals with them. I'm going to do a side note. You could mention these things to your spouse or your friends, even staff members, but oftentimes they're not the best accountability partner. It's merely something or someone that you can talk to, but they're not really the best with being your accountability partner because you don't want your spouse getting on your case about managing distractions. Sometimes you just want to have them be in family mode, not business mode. So be cautious with that. And then next, I just want to encourage you to just celebrate yourself, celebrate milestones that have reinforced your focus, right? Like for me, I did 4 months without my Apple Watch and like, I don't miss it. And I celebrate that. Like, this has really been healthy for me. This is good. Like, I'm able to stick with this. Like, celebrate what you are able to accomplish that helps you to be focused. So, my friends, that's my tip for you today. That is what is important and on my mind. And I hope it will provide help to you as you navigate this wonderful entrepreneurial life. And if you are looking for a business and life coach, I would be happy to work with you. You can hit me up on my website, gingerhaithcox.com. I'll be happy to set up a free 15-minute consultation. We'll figure out what your goals are and how I can support you. So again, visit my website. We'll set up that consult call and I'll be more than happy to work with you and help you reach your goals for a peaceful life and leading a profitable business. Hey there, it's Ginger. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Be sure to subscribe so that you never miss another episode, and leave us a review and a rating so that more people can listen and enjoy as well. Thank you so much.